Welcome to Libraries Today. This program is intended to recognize and highlight the unexpected ways local libraries serve their communities today. I'm your host, Stan Howe. On this episode of Libraries Today, we'll discuss how technology has impacted public libraries. From the days of using a card catalog to today's demands for high-speed internet, technology has streamlined library processes and allowed access to more information than ever before. 2 decades ago, the West Virginia Library Commission launched its award-winning statewide library network, providing internet service to every library in the state. To commemorate this event, let's take a step back in time and look at how technology was introduced into public libraries throughout West Virginia. Used in its modern form as early as 1935, card catalogs were utilized by libraries to organize books and resources. To view another library's collection, you would use a microfilm machine to see what was available for checkout. Libraries would then communicate through teletype, U.S. mail, or telephone to request an interlibrary loan or to place an item on hold. In the 1980s, public libraries that could afford them started using electronic databases to collect, organize, and share information. These databases connected library records and could be accessed and updated quickly and efficiently. Only text could travel over these slow, expensive lines, and staff had to receive comprehensive training before use. By the early 90s, libraries started using fax machines and satellite receivers. Fax machines allowed for faster communication between libraries, and satellites provided viewable broadcasting opportunities. A patron could stop by the library and watch a class or a seminar through satellite transmission. At the same time, smaller rural libraries were beginning to convert their card catalogs into microsystems. Microsystems allowed staff and patrons to look up their library's material electronically. Possibly the most important advancement for libraries in West Virginia came in 1996, when the Library Commission launched the Statewide Library Network. Initially, 65 public libraries in the state were connected to the network, which provided them with continuous internet access. Within 2 years, all of the state's libraries were on board, allowing West Virginia to become the first state in the country to have all supported public libraries linked to the internet. For the first time, libraries were connected to the World Wide Web, or the Information Superhighway, as it was sometimes called. This technology instantly connected libraries to databases, news sites, and higher education and research institutions. Libraries would never be the same. As the demand to use the internet increased, so did issues concerning network congestion and slow connectivity. Through grants from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the average number of PCs per library soon increased to 10. In September 2002, a $1.6 million grant from Verizon of West Virginia financially supported the Digital Bridge Project. This 2-year project replaced the network's 56K relay lines with more robust T1 frame relay circuits, providing access to a faster, more reliable internet connection. And Wi-Fi became a standard at all libraries, allowing patrons to use their own devices while visiting. In 2007, a second grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation replaced older PCs and printers with newer, faster ones. Public libraries were upgraded again 3 years later through President Obama's national stimulus package. The Broadband Technology Opportunities Program paid for the last mile of fiber optic cable needed by libraries to connect to the internet via Ethernet. With broadband speeds now 100 times faster than the original 56K circuits, more options became available to patrons, such as Skype, web conferencing, downloading ebooks, music, and video. For those without internet access at home, having a free internet connection at the local library is vital. In an increasingly digital world, the Library Commission supports public libraries to ensure that West Virginians have access to the necessary tools to enhance their lives and their communities. High-speed internet in public libraries is definitely an indispensable tool for those that need access to online information for ongoing educational, business, and personal success. Times sure have changed. When we return, we'll visit the Cabell County Public Library and talk with library staff about how patrons utilize technology in their library. We'll be right back after this short break.
Say with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. To motivate some magic, to change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall, and make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first little thing that helps to change a life.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky, but he's ignoring the instructions. Good luck, big guy. His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
I'm here in front of one of the oldest libraries in West Virginia, the original Cabell County Library. It was built back in 1905 and served as the county library for 75 years. Let's go across the street to the new library and talk to a couple of experts about the old Cabell County Library. Welcome back to Libraries Today. I'm here now at the Cabell County Library to check out their technology area. And with me is Sarah Ramazani. Sarah, can you give us a tour?
Absolutely, I'll be happy to show you around.
Let's go take a look.
Okay.
So Sarah, tell me a little bit about your technology center.
Well, this is the second floor, which is reference department, and we have the most computers in this floor. We have 33 computers in this building. Some are on the first floor, some on here, and then some we have on the fourth floor, children department.
How popular is this area?
It is very popular. A lot of people really counting on internet access just in this library. I mean, coming to the library and using our computers. We offer also Wi-Fi, which is free. They don't even need to have a library card to use the Wi-Fi. But in order to use the computers, they should have a card or prove that they're using it in the library.
I would think a lot of your patrons don't have internet access at home.
Yes. Yeah, a study shows that there are really, at least in our area, a lot of people that are really counting on searching for jobs, and we help them a lot with application, filling for jobs, searching, and starting new business. Students, though, who take online classes, we do proctoring tests for them, and staff on this floor, they will help them also having training for private lessons and timing for them that it's unique here.
One of the things we want to see is how some on-hands training about how patrons can utilize your system. So the reference librarians will take care of that for us?
Absolutely, yes.
So David, a patron comes in, wants to utilize the Wi-Fi here in the library. What do they have to do?
Well, if they're going to use the Wi-Fi, they'll come and they'll ask us to access the Wi-Fi, and what we'll do is we'll ask them what their time requirements are. Do they want a 1 hour pass, a 2 hour pass, or a 4 hour pass?
So it's limited how long you can use it?
It is limited how long you can use it in sections, but you can come back and get a repeat. So if you've used 4 hours and you still want to use 2 more or 4 more, you can come back because it's your own device. Using our computers, we do have to put a time limit on because they're more often than not, they're completely filled, and there's an issue with allowing people to stay on them too long when they've exceeded their time. But we can be flexible if there's nobody there, of course.
So how does the process work? Patron comes in and says, hey, I want to utilize your Wi-Fi. How do I do it?
Okay, what they'll do, like I say, is for the Wi-Fi, they'll ask us for a, they'll say they want to use the Wi-Fi, we'll ask them what time requirements they have, and then we'll print them off a pass, and we'll explain to them that our network is named CCPL 5700, and then on this slip of paper there will be a user word and a username and a password, and we point out to them that those are case sensitive, so if it's a lowercase letter they have to type it in as a lowercase, and if it's an uppercase they have to type it in as an uppercase. And the way that it best works is we'll say to them, will you please try to open your browser, and it'll direct them to a screen where they can put in this information, and then they're on.
It seems to me to be pretty popular.
Oh, it is, and it's getting more and more popular. And in fact, now people are just, we'll have people come up on a repeat patrons, and we just know what they want, and so we'll just click away, and then they're done, and they move off without any sort of interaction at all.
So tell me about a guest pass. You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, the guest pass is where people who don't have a library card, who wish to access our computer system, and what we'll do is we'll ask them if they can show us some identification, and then what we'll do is we'll print them off, we'll make them a visitor card, and this is good for 2 hours. Now with the visitor card you're hooked into our system, which is hooked to the printer as well, so you're able to print documents off. This is ideal for folks who are travelling through town, business people who are maybe on their way from Parkersburg to Beckley and have stopped here and they want to check up on some email, and they can do that here.
Okay, thanks. Let's take a look at some of the other aspects of the Technology Center. So David, you want to show us some more about the databases?
Correct, yes. As you'll notice from here on the home page, before we get into databases in depth, I just wanted to show you as well Flipster and BiblioBoard, because these are two new additions that we've recently added to the way that we present our information. BiblioBoard here is our digital asset content management system, and what it does is it allows us to digitize items that are in the public domain or items that we actually own, and we can put them up as documents of historic record, and it allows us, it helps us do the two key things for a lot of local history collections. It's about preservation and it's about access, because now that we're in the process of digitizing a great deal of local history information, we're preserving it and we're providing access to it. I'll show you the postcards because that's probably the most interesting one. And as you can see, we've just started, and this is part of our historic postcard collection. And each item can be accessed and it can be viewed. One of the interesting things about the images in BiblioBoard is you can't print them because they don't want people printing them off and claiming them as their own. But you can save them to a flash drive. You can set yourself up with a BiblioBoard account, and you can access that from your own device anywhere. And up here, this will allow you to see some of the full details, and it gives a little description of the image, the format, the license type, and it allows us to give an attribution. So if it's somebody's collection that they've donated to us, we're able to include them in the metadata that we use. Flipster is our digital magazine subscription service provided by EBSCO, and when you land on this, you can access all of the magazines to which we subscribe, and if you open up a particular one, it will bring you straight to the most recent edition, but it will also give you back issues. It won't take you back to a full run in the way that the EBSCO database will, but it will give you the opportunity to access more recent editions. And this is wonderful because you can print articles, you can save them.
You just flip through the book?
You can flip through it. So let's say we've gone to the hipster paradox here, and you can search the contents page, or you can just browse the whole issue. And it's the same when you open up one of the back issues that you have. So we're back at the home page again, and we have the database tab. And if we open that, we have an alphabetical listing of all the databases to which we subscribe, and this includes a very brief description of them, so folk who are trying to make a decision about research or entertainment can decide which database to use. And you'll see these buttons over here indicate whether they're remotely available or only available in the library. If it says remote access here, you can access that database from home, which is a nice service. And the big name, of course, in database publishing is EBSCO, and we subscribe through the Library Commission. We have a subscription to several EBSCO supported databases. This is perhaps the largest one, which is a collection of databases within a database. So this here again gives you a description of what the particular collection is about, and the titles are fairly self-evidentary. We have Alt Health Watch, Business Source Elite. The one that we recommend most for people to go to is Masterfile Premier, because it's probably the biggest collection in this particular database. And if you click on that, you can access it. And we'll go with the Gone with the Wind theme, because that was. So let's say we type in Gone with the Wind here. Now this brings us 1,109 hits, including Associated Press videos. On the left-hand side of the page, you'll see that the patron is able to refine their particular search, so you can limit it to looking for an article which is complete rather than simply in the abstract.
Source types.
It's a magazine, and then if you want to get deeper into your searching, you can actually do subject-related materials, publication, even the language. And the other thing as well, and this is something that people do take advantage of, is you can listen to it, and you can download an MP3 file. So let's say you're wanting to take some information on board, but you've got an appointment at the gym. You can put this on your MP3 player, and you can go ahead and carry on exercising while you're doing your research. So it really does allow you to access this information in a variety of different ways.
David, this has been extremely informative. It's amazing how far libraries have come in the last 15, 20 years.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
It really is. And to be involved in a profession that is changing so frequently and so dynamically, it's a real joy, because this is it's exciting times. Exciting times.
Thanks to the staff of the Cabell County Library for the tour of their technology center. We learned a lot. Hope you did too. We'll be right back after this short message.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education.
Right up here.
So every year, I take promising high schoolers on a college tour
Getting lights there, darks there.
to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Find out how you can live united for education. Give, advocate, volunteer. Go to liveunited.org.
Do you wear this?
Welcome back. On today's episode of Libraries Today, we are discussing technology and how it's impacted public libraries. With us are two of the architects of the State Library Network, Chris Spradling and Harlan White. Gentlemen, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
First, let's just talk about the statewide network. How did it start? What were some of the things you guys ran into originally?
Well, originally at the start of the network, I was working here in this TV studio at the time. So a lot of that footage and stuff you saw in that package earlier, I was shooting at the time. So I'm going to defer this one to Harlan, since he was actually at the controls at the time.
I think it was 1994 is when we got a federal grant. And the grant was to put a computer and a router in each library, each public library, just one, just to get them online. And I think we actually had a HP Unix catalog server at 5-6 different locations in the state. that allowed all the public libraries to have a web page, email, and their catalog services. So we went from basically nothing to everything in that one grant. There was more people involved than just me. We had Dennis Loudermill, he's over at Legislative Services now. He was a big part. And but basically, yeah, that was it. I mean, it just started, I walked into the grant, and I think it was like a year later we were trying to set all this up.
Well, what kind of roadblocks did you find initially when you were trying to roll this out?
Well, the ones that we've seen the most was it Bell Atlantic at the time?
Yeah,
the phone company?
It was C&P and Bell Atlantic.
So we had to deal with the phone companies for the network side. And then we had, of course, the librarians trying to learn all this new stuff. We had West Virginia Networks.
It's been a big help.
Oh, yeah, since day one, even to this day, Alan Doherty at West Virginia Networks. Without him, we wouldn't have a library network. So between them, the phone companies, the libraries, and all the government red tape involved, it took a lot of planning and a lot of work. And there was only a handful of us doing it. So, but it was an experience.
You know, we have 172 libraries in the state, so it's quite a few. How long did it take to get everybody on board?
It was about 2 years, I guess, before we got all the libraries connected. You know, with government, there's this bid process and contracts you have to go through and purchasing rules, and you know, it takes a little while to get things to roll in government. But it took about almost 2 years, I guess, to get everybody on board.
Yeah, that was the initial 56K. And by the time we got the last library on the 56K, we started with the T1. So it's been evolving. It's never been everybody the same. It's always, you started here, ended, and you're restarting. So, it's been, I'd say a year and a half to initially get them online.
Yeah. You know, in 1996, the internet was still a new technology, newfangled kind of technology. What were the reactions from librarians and patrons when you started putting this out there?
They really took to it. I mean, they thought it was something fascinating, something good. The internet and the public library, what a novel idea. And a lot of them really liked it. And then we had a few that weren't so crazy about it. We had a couple of librarians that were, one of them actually told Carl and I, just load the computers up and take them back. They don't want it. And now they love technology and they all embrace it. But it was some of them were a little weary of it at first there.
Well, I think they were expecting it at the time, though, because if I remember right, when I first started, they were already putting web links on TV shows. And people were like, what's this .com thing they're always talking about? So they were kind of expecting something new. So by the time we got everything set up, they kind of knew what it was. So it wasn't really a roadblock. They were expecting it at the time.
You know, over the years, the speeds obviously have changed. I mean, you were talking about 56K initially. We're a lot faster than that now. How did that evolve?
Well, speed's relative, I guess, to content. But originally when they had 56K lines, most web pages were text-based. If you were lucky, you had a picture. And you could even in your browser turn the pictures off if you didn't want to wait on the load. So that was a 56K line. Now you've got megabits. But almost every news article you see now has a video embedded into it or some type of multimedia that consumes huge amounts of bandwidth. Of course, that takes up the bandwidth that you've acquired. So it's kind of a catch-up all the time to get more bandwidth to match the content.
It's two things. It's funding. You know, if you have the funding, it's unlimited. And the other thing, it's like a highway. I mean, the more highways you build, the more traffic you get. You know, it's always going to be full. So, I mean, that's a roadblock we'll always see. You
know, we've come a long way in 20 years. Where do you see the library network 20 years from now?
Well, technology is such a hard thing to guess in the future. Watch Back to the Future and see what the year 2015 was supposed to look like. So 20 years from now, it may be some mutant of, fiber and satellite and wireless and stuff we don't even really have now. So it'll be interesting to see. I have no idea.
I hope libraries are still around providing the service, because even today that's one of the problems is, location and cost brings the patrons into our library. So I'm thinking 3D virtual reality is probably the next thing.
That'd be great, yeah.
That will be cool.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for your time. Appreciate you dropping by.
Okay, thank you, Sam.
Thanks.
The West Virginia Library Commission encourages lifelong learning, individual empowerment, civic engagement, and an enriched quality of life by enhancing library and information services for all West Virginians. For questions or comments regarding topics on this show, please do not hesitate to call us at 1-800-642-9021 or visit us online at www.librarycommission.wv.gov. To keep you updated on library happenings in the state and beyond, the West Virginia Library Commission uses the WVLC website, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube channel, and the Library Lookout newsletter. If you haven't liked us or followed us on social media yet, please do.
Listen now, can you hear the bluebirds? Oh, look up now, can you feel the sun? Whoa, 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 can you feel the sun?
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time.
Decades have passed since the days of relying on card catalogs and microfilm as essential library tools. Today, when you visit a library, you rely on a computer to find what you need. Whether you do it yourself or get help from a library staff member, searching for information through a computer has become the norm. The world is at our fingertips, literally. Who could have imagined back in 1980 the impact that technology would have on our day-to-day lives? I want to thank the staff at the Cabell County Public Library in Huntington for allowing us to tour their library's technology space. I'd also like to thank Chris Spradling and Harlan White with the WVLC Network Services team for stopping by the studio and sharing their perspective on how technology has enhanced our state public libraries. To find out more about the resources available to you, contact your local library. I'm your host, Stan Howe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Libraries Today.